Hello everyone. Although it is late March, it is still cold when driving or in the shade. Today we are going on a historical tour. I am currently driving along the coast of Nagato City, Yamaguchi Prefecture. The sea along the Sea of Japan coast is so beautiful that many riders come here for touring. Our destination this time is a man who was known as the most powerful daimyo in the western part of Japan during the Sengoku period 500 years ago. This is a place closely associated with Ouchi Yoshitaka. I would like to explain about Ouchi Yoshitaka.
Ouchi Yoshitaka, military commander, Shuga daimyo, and nobleman during the Sengoku period. The 16th head of the Uchi clan. Son of Ouchi Yoshioki, once known as the ruler of the country, his mother was the daughter of Nato Hironori. Served as Shugo of Suo, Nagato, Iwami, Aki, Buzan, and Shikuzen. Served as junior second-rank army minister, the Zaidaini, and chamberlain. During Yoshitaka's reign, Uchi culture flourished and the territory reached its peak. Childhood. Born on November 15, 1507 H04. His childhood name was Kidomaru, the same as his father, grandfather, and previous heads of the family. It was clear from an early age that Yoshitaka was the eldest son, and he had no choice but to call himself Yoshitaka in order to avoid internal conflict over the succession of the Uchi family. Around that time, he was given the name Yoshitaka by Shogun Ashikaga Yoshite. After coming of age, he took the name Yoshitaka. Inheritance to the family headship. In December 1528, Yoshitaka's father, Yoshioki, died and Yoshitaka inherited the family headship at the age of 22. In the Uchi family, internal conflicts often occurred when succession to the family headship occurred, but when Yoshitaka inherited the family headship, internal conflicts did not occur. This was mainly due to the fact that his younger brother died at a young age, he had few relatives, and the cooperation of his senior vassal, Suoka Fusa. On December 23, 1529, he was promoted to junior 5th rank upper grade, and on October 9, 1530, he was appointed to the position of Sakyo no Daibu, just like his ancestors.
If you listen to this, it seems like a blessing to have been born during Yoshioki's time when the Uchi clan was reaching its zenith. But no one could have predicted its tragic end.
Yoshitaka expands his power. In 1530, Yoshitaka sent troops to Kyushu to compete with the Otomo clan of Bungo province and the Shoni clan of Chikuzen province for dominance over northern Kyushu. Yoshitaka entrusted his troops to his vassal Sugi Okinobu and Su Okinobu, and attacked the Shoni clan. He then conquered the Matsura clan of Hizen province, and further pacified the coast of northern Kyushu to gain control of trade with the continent. However, the attack on Shoni that he had Sugi Okinobu carry out ended in a major defeat. In 1534, Yoshitaka bribed Raizoji Ikane to defect from the Shoni clan, weakening the Shoni clan. He also ordered Su Okinobu to attack Bungo, the home base of the Otomo clan, but failed. However, Yoshitaka also attacked Shibukawa Yoshinaga, the Kyushu Tandai in northern Hizen, and destroyed the Shibukawa clan. That same year, he donated coins to the imperial court to coincide with the enthronement ceremony of Emperor Gonara, and the following year he again applied to be appointed to Zaidaini, which he was finally appointed to in 1536, giving him a justification for the conquest of northern Kyushu. In September, Yoshitaka defeated Shoni Tsukamoto in a battle at Taki Castle in Hizen together with the Raizoji clan, and pacified the northern Kyushu region. In 1537, Yoshitaka attempted to go to Kyoto after receiving a request from Ashikaga Yoshiharu, the 12th shogun of the Muromachi shogunate, to join the shogunate, but was blocked by the Amago clan, which had unified Sanin and was moving south, and he gave up the plan in order to focus on managing his territory. In 1540, Amago Tsunahisa's grandson, Akihisa later Haruhisa, invaded Aki province and fought at Yoshida Koriyama Castle, the castle of Morimoto Nari, a subordinate of the Uchi clan battle of Yoshida Koriyama Castle. Yoshitaka sent reinforcements under the command of Su Takafusa later Harukata and defeated the Amago forces. In 1541, Yoshitaka launched an offensive against the Aki Takeda and Tomoda clans, who were on the Amago side, and destroyed them, taking control of Aki province. Common belief. After the death of Amago Tsunehisa, the Amago clan's greatest rival and military strategist, in November 1546, Yoshitaka personally besieged Gasentoda Castle, the Amago clan's castle, in January 1546, but was defeated Battle of Gasentoda Castle. As a result of this defeat, Yoshitaka lost his beloved adopted son, Uchi Harumichi, and lost his political interest and ambition. After that, he is said to have come into conflict with Takemasu clan and the Nato clan.
Arrived. In this place, far away from Yamaguchi City, where the capital of the Uchi clan was located. Why did you come, Yoshitaka?
A new theory of civil government. On the other hand, the new theory also says that he did not actually lose interest in politics. The year after the Battle of Gasentoda Castle, he adopted Chiyotomaru Yoshitaka's nephew, later Uchi Haruhide, later Ouchi Yoshitaka, the son of his sister who married Otomo Yoshiaki in 1543, and improved his relationship with the Otomo clan. Asterisk, Haruhide had intended to have Yoshitaka succeed him as head of the family if Yoshitaka did not have any biological children in the future, but in 1545 Yoshitaka had a biological child and the adoption was dissolved. The dissolution of the adoption at this time is said to have been a major shock to the Kyushu daimyo. On the other hand, he won the Battle of Kanabi and the Nuno Kuzur in Bingo province, building the largest territory in the history of the Uchi clan. Sengoku period, a period of frequent wars in Japanese history from the end of the 15th century to the end of the 16th century. As the authority of the Muromachi shogunate weakened due to instability in the world, Sengoku daimyo expanded their influence throughout the country, replacing the Shugo daimyo. The trend to unify territory and its people grew stronger, and daimyo began to fight with other daimyo for territorial expansion. Yoshitaka and Francis Xavier. In August 1550, Yoshitaka met Francis Xavier, who came to Yamaguchi, but Xavier was wearing dirty travel clothes, brought no gifts, and had no courtesy. Yoshitaka was angry and did not allow the lecture. In late April 1551, Yoshitaka met Xavier again. Xavier had learned from experience that it was important to look good when meeting with aristocrats, so this time he dressed the party in beautiful clothes and presented Yoshitaka with rare cultural assets. The gifts included personal letters from the Portuguese Governor-General of India and the Bishop of Goa, which were originally prepared to be presented to the Emperor: a telescope, a western harp, a clock, a glass jug, a mirror, spectacles, books, paintings, a rifle, and more. Yoshitaka gave Xavier Dainei Temple as his base. The Uchi clan falls into turmoil. In 1545, Sugi Shigenori, a senior vassal of the Buzan Shugo, warned Yoshitaka about the suspicious behavior of Tsutakafusa, but his warning was ignored. From February to May 1549, at the arrangement of Ouchi Yoshitaka, Morimoto Nari visited Yamaguchi with his sons and met with Yoshitaka. However, it is also said that this was a ploy by Su to get closer to the Mori clan. In 1550, the conflict between the civil policy factions Sagara Takatoshi and Tsutakafusa reached a decisive point, and a plot was hatched to assassinate Takatoshi, but Takatoshi, who knew about the plot in advance, informed Yoshitaka and escaped. To achieve peace, Takatoshi tried to marry his daughter to Takafusa's son Nagafusa, but he was refused, and the peace plan fell apart. On August 24th, Takafusa sent a secret letter to the Mori and Kikawa families, asking for their cooperation, saying, "I have consulted with Sugi and Nato, and would like to depose Yoshitaka and have my eldest son, Yoshitaka, succeed him." On September 15th, Yoshitaka suddenly missed the annual festivals of Haikup Shrine and Imahachiman Shrine, and had Mijita Ryuji attend instead. This was because Yoshitaka's side was wary of rumors that Takafusa would imprison Yoshitaka and Takatoshi. Takafusa barricaded himself in his castle, Wakayama Castle, Shunan City, from late November due to illness, and did not perform his duties as chairman of the Kasugatsuki Kai in January and February. Takafusa had been scheduled to serve in that role since the previous year. Around this time, the relationship between Yoshitaka and Takafusa reached its worst point. In May 1551, when Yoshitaka's biological son was born, Takafusa and others were dismissed from their posts and returned to the Otomo clan, where they sent secret envoys to ask for their cooperation in supporting Ouchi Yoshitaka as the new head of the Ishi clan again. As a result, Takafusa effectively formed an alliance with the Mori clan in the east, the Nato clan in the west, and the Otomo clan in the southwest, completing a circle around Yoshitaka that cut off his escape route. Takafusa's rebellion. On August 10, 1551 Tenbin 20, Takatomi fled to Chikuzen out of fear of Takafusa. On August 20th, Takafusa raised an army with Okimori and others. Su's army first cooperated with the Mori clan and occupied Itsukushima, Sakurao Castle, Sado Ginzen Castle and their surrounding areas. On August 28th, Su's army left Wakayama Castle, and the main force led by Takafusa entered Yamaguchi from Tokuji-guchi, while a separate force entered Yamaguchi from Hafuguchi. Around noon on the same day, they entered Yamaguchi, and the Sugi and Nato armies responded by joining the Su army. The Su army is said to have a strength of 5,000 to 10,000. On the 23rd, Yoshitaka held a banquet to entertain the Otomo clan's envoys, and on the 27th, the day before Takafusa set out, a no performance was held. Raizei Takatoyo proposed to attack, but Yoshitaka reportedly replied, "Sugi and Nato are not our enemies." After receiving the news of Takafusa's invasion, Yoshitaka finally retreated to Hisenji Temple at the foot of the mountain, where he set up camp. He set up his headquarters in the main hall, and senior vassal Raizei Takatoyo and others strengthened the defense, but they could only muster about 3,000 troops. There was almost no organized resistance, and the vacant Ouchi residence and the houses of his close retainers were burned and their treasures stolen. Former Regent Niyu Tadafusa sent a messenger to Nato Okimori to plead for peace, but was refused. The following day, the 29th, Yoshitaka abandoned Yamaguchi and fled to Nagato. Takayasu remained at Hisenji Temple, and was killed in battle to buy time. His second wife Asai fled to Myokuji Temple, now JR Temple in Miyano City, Yamaguchi Prefecture. Yoshitaka and his party traveled through the rugged mountains, hurting their feet. There is a legend that they used a stone in Ayagi, Mitocho, Mine City, as a platform to rest and eat their meal. The stone was named Tadasueshi, directly placed stone, because a rice bowl was placed directly on it. The local people have warned people not to step on this stone. Afterwards, they reached Senzaki in Nagato and attempted to escape by sea to their relative Yoshimi Masayori in Iwami, but were unable to escape due to a storm. Yoshitaka and his men turned back and took refuge in the Tainenji Temple in Fukagawa, Nagato.
What was Yoshitaka feeling when he fled to Tainenji Temple? Now let's finish the explanation and switch to the handheld camera. Immediately after entering the temple grounds, along the river, there are traces of how Yoshitaka arrived here.
Before entering the temple grounds, Yoshitaka hung his helmet on a rock beside the approach to the temple to straighten his messy hair, then stepped into a nearby pond. However, to his surprise, he could not see his reflection in the water's surface. It was at that moment that Yoshitaka realized his fate.
The pond is damp, but there doesn't seem to be any water. What was Yoshitaka thinking after he found out his fate? Just thinking about it makes me sad. Here we will explain about Dainei Temple where Yoshitaka arrived.
Dainei Gokoku Zenji Temple. In 1410, Lord Rishizu Hirotada, a member of the Ouchi clan, welcomed Zen Master Ishitani Shinryo as its founder. Zen Master Ishitani Shinryo traveled to China at the age of 18 and practiced for 20 years. He was praised as a living Bodhidharma, and after returning to Japan in 1392, he worked hard to unify the imperial family, which had been divided into the northern and southern courts, at the request of the emperor, and gained tremendous trust. Due to its magnificent beauty, it is also called the Koyasan of the West, and gravestones have been erected within the temple grounds by the Kokain Temple of the Mori clan and senior vassals of the Mori clan of the Hagi domain.
It is said that Yoshitaka and his party, who had escaped from Yamaguchi, entered the main hall and took a brief rest.
The Su and NATO armies then pursued and surrounded the temple. In the main hall of the temple, Yoshitaka told his vassals, Rise Takachoyo, and others, who had continued to flee with him, that he had accepted his fate and would commit suicide. Upon hearing his lord's decision, Takatoyo went toward the Su troops, buying some time by announcing that my lord Yoshimasa will now commit suicide. Yoshitaka and his vassals then received posthumous Buddhist names and composed their death poems. On September 1st, at around 10 o'clock, Yoshitaka was beheaded by Takatoyo and committed suicide, ending his life. He was 45 years old. At this time, Yoshitaka's daughter Juko, who had fled with him, followed her father and committed suicide along with her wet nurse Misao and maid Ogira. She was 15 years old when she died.
It is located a little to the side from the main hall. This slope is called Rezuzaka. The reason for the name is related to the events that occurred after Yoshitaka committed suicide.
The tragic end of the loyal retainer Raizei Takatoyo. Raizei Takatoyo was a military commander in the Sengoku period. He was a retainer of the Ouchi clan. Born in 1521, he served the Sengoku daimyo Ouchi Yoshitaka from a young age, and after Yoshioki's death, he served his son Yoshitaka. After the Tainenji incident, many of his retainers betrayed Yoshitaka and left, but Takatoyo swore loyalty to the Ouchi clan, protected Yoshitaka, and fled with him. Takatoyo gazed upon Yoshitaka's corpse before his eyes, then left the scene, prepared fire, and set the temple on fire. His remaining companions, Ueda Ryuji, Amano Takayoshi, Kurokawa Takazo, Odataka Michi, and Okabe Takakage, burned Yoshitaka's corpse until the ridgepole fell. Takatoyo and his men then went up to the Sutra Hall, where they called out to the Su forces surrounding the temple and began their final battle by shooting arrows at them. When they ran out of arrows, they charged into the enemy and cut down many of their soldiers, continuing the fight. Takatoyo himself suffered many wounds. And even though some of his allies were being killed and falling, he continued to fight, and his performance frightened the enemy soldiers so much that they eventually became unable to move. Seeing this, Takatoyo also stopped fighting, set fire to a nearby sutra storehouse, and then went inside himself. Alone, surrounded by enemy soldiers and flames, Takatoyo sat down and recited a death poem in his own blood. The last line, ... nothing left has two meanings, as well as nothing left Su, and is said to predict the future of the Su family. Asterisk, in fact, a few years later, his enemy, Sutaka Fusaharukata, was defeated and killed by his rival Morimoto Nari in the Battle of Itsukushima, and the surviving children of the Su family were also killed with the downfall of the Ouchi clan. Afterwards, Takatoyo committed seppuku disembowelment in a cross shape, removed his internal organs with his own hands, and then threw them at the ceiling, which ended his life. He was 39 years old when he died. Yoshitaka Toyo was not only a brave warrior, but was also skilled in waka poetry, and was said to be a man of both wisdom and bravery, and his loyalty was highly praised. The slope mentioned earlier came to be called Raizezaka because it was the road leading to the sutra storehouse where Takatoyo secluded himself. Asterisk in the explanatory version, the death poem has been changed to a simpler sentence. Yoshitaka's sons tried to escape. Meanwhile, Yoshitaka's eldest son, Yoshitaka, continued to flee with his attendants. Yoshitaka let his sons escape to ensure the survival of the Uchi clan. However, it was difficult to escape under siege, and he was captured by Su's army and killed deep inside Mara Cannon in Shimoyasuda, Tarayama Onsen, Nagato City, Yamaguchi Prefecture. He died at the age of 7. Thus, the main line of the Uchi clan came to an end during Yoshitaka's reign. The third son, Uchi Kanjumaru, disguised himself as a woman and hid in the mountains, but was captured the following year and killed deep within Mara Cannon. However, the second son, Yoshitaka's younger brother, Tanta Kametsurumaru, was spared because his maternal grandfather was Nato Okimori's grandson, son of Okimori's daughter. Asterisk, there are various theories about what happened after that, but the most widely accepted theory is that he was killed in battle.
At last, we can see the place where Yoshitaka Uchi is buried.
写真撮らせていただきます。
The graves of those who gave their lives to Lord Ouchi Yoshitaka and those who were caught up in the rebellion are arranged around the main body. The nobles who came down from Kyoto also died in the Tainenji incident.
失礼いたします。皆様、安らかに眠ってください。
After the end of the Dainei incident, influence of the murder of court nobles by the Sui army. In March 1552, Otomo Haruhide was welcomed to Yamaguchi. He succeeded him as the new head of the Ouchi family. He renamed him Ouchi Yoshitaka, and Takafusa himself changed his name to Harukata as a sign of loyalty to his new lord. Thus, Harukata seized real power in the Ouchi family with Yoshinaga as a puppet head, and sought to strengthen the Ouchi family. However, the new Ouchi family was given the cold shoulder by the imperial court, which decided to rely on the newly powerful Imago family. One of the reasons for this cold treatment was that Yoshitaka had murdered court nobles such as Niu Tadafusa, the former minister of the left Sanjo Kinyori, and Otsuki Iji, the father of Yoshitaka's second wife Asai, who had come down from Kyoto to seek Yoshitaka's help, which led to a significant decline in the reputation of the prestigious Ouchi family. Furthermore, they requested the Ming dynasty, a powerful country with which they had been trading for many years, to resume Japan-Ming trade, but this was rejected by the Ming dynasty, who claimed that Ouchi Yoshinaga, who had been supported by the leadership of Harukata, was not the legitimate head of the Ouchi clan, and the Ouchi clan was never able to trade again.